Welcome everyone to a beautiful day with us. I am astronumerologist Lloyd Grayhorn. Why is that still covering up the front like that? Anyway, uh, I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Grayhorn. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a very special guest on this evening. His name is Dr. Uchenna. Uh, why can't I see the Okay, I know there's sometimes things that are happening. Why? Okay, there we go. I got it. All right, I got that. Okay, good enough. I'm now with it. Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, where uh, it's live with Lloyd, where the joy of learning, or the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. We were having some sound issues. If those can't hear, I'm hoping everybody can hear clearly that I have a very, very distinguished guest on. As you see, I had the distinction of meeting this gentleman when I was in Trinidad. My first visit to Trinidad at his invitation, that was in the fall of 2018. I stayed 10 days and it came back in 2019 and stayed almost 2 weeks. But this is the man that I was telling you the other day that really changed my life in more ways than one, and I kid you not. And it's always good to give props to really do also. So without further ado, I want to introduce Uchenna. Uchenna, how are you, sir?
Hey Lloyd, how are you?
I'm fine, fine. Thank you. How's everything?
Yes.
How's Jen? How the kids? How's your mom and dad?
What's that?
I says, how are Jen? How are the children? How are your mom and dad?
Oh, everyone is great. Everyone is great.
Good. It's interesting. When I went to Trinidad, that was the first time in a long time that I sat at a table where you, your wife, your children, your mom and dad was all there. I mean, it had been so long. Now everybody just grab their plate and go into their respective rooms and turn on their own TV. But it was nice to sit there at the table the way it used to be, you know. Um,
Yes.
when first coming to Trinidad, you and Jen, your wife, were working on a product. It was a juice, and I
Yes.
was stuck on that juice. I think I how did this juice come into being? Did you call UJuice?
Well, I'm a naturopathic doctor for about 11 years. And one of my teachers is Dr. Laila Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things I talked about while he was alive is, the struggles that all of his clients had. And the struggle I've seen over 5,000 people now. And everybody wants to have their cake and eat it and still be healthy. so,
I don't know whether it's human nature, but you're absolutely right.
so my wife back in 2018, actually 2017, we opened a restaurant called Livet Gourmet that was dedicated to making all the unhealthy things, making them healthy, but making them taste as good as the unhealthy versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things she did is she made a ginger lime drink that her mother used to make. And we noticed that that drink sold the fastest of any other drink in the restaurant at the time. And the restaurant is something that became very strenuous on my wife, and we now have 4 children. At that time, we only had 2, and she was pregnant with the third. And we decided, this is too much work for her at that time. And it was a heartbreaking thing for us, but we closed the restaurant and decided to focus on just making functional beverages that would basically give you everything that you need in a beverage: energy, boosting your immune system, boosting your even your memory, your eyesight. I wanted something that does everything in one drink. And it has the least amount of sugar of any juice drink available today without the use of anything artificial. So you just has zero artificial flavors, coloring, preservatives, no artificial sweeteners. So and let me tell you, Lloyd, I have clients and customers in Trinidad that we have maybe over 100 testimonies that I can't make this stuff up of people who had Lota on their skin. Lota disappeared. I had a friend I went to school with who was very skeptical about what I do. You know, many people are skeptical about herbs and herbalists, right?
Yeah.
And she's kind of like a straight shooter kind of person. And she brought her mom to see me. And she drank my juice while waiting to come in to see me. And she said, I have a headache on and off for 10 years now. And drinking this product, the headache went away. And so, as a master herbalist, my wife and I, she made sure it tastes amazing. So that's just first thing. I think most people will agree. Anybody who traveled to Trinidad will tell you that our juices, we make the best juices. Let me say that right now. I think, not I think,
So I bear
it's,
with you. I lived off of the sorrel and the ginger the time I was there, the 10 days, and then when I came back the following year, and that the 2 weeks staying there, that's all I lived on. I mean, even when we did radio interviews, I would take either one of those juices with me to go. I mean, it's
yep.
like that. So it's without exaggeration.
So this product, I should tell you a couple of things about the history of juice making with spices. Because UJuice is very simply the nature's best fruits, nature's best roots, which is turmeric root, ginseng, red Korean ginseng. Antioxidants, we have something called astaxanthin in UJuice, and also spices. Now, there is an African tradition of making sorrel juice with ginger and spices. So when our ancestors were, taking a cruise from Africa to the Caribbean, well, not a cruise, you all know exactly what happened, right? So they brought with them our culture, and our culture in every island in the Caribbean and South America as well. You will find versions of the sorrel. And this all started in Central West Africa. And in Nigeria today, the drink is called Zobo. It's a sorrel with spice and ginger. And so we grew up in Trinidad with that. In Jamaica as well, they make the same drink. The only problem is that they have too much sugar in the drink. And there are way too much diabetics in Trinidad. We are leading the Caribbean with diabetes in a population size of about 1.4 million people. We have over 300,000 people that are diabetic.
Wow.
So this is a huge problem, Lloyd.
Wow. Okay.
And because I see clients, we cure diabetes all the time. So I see some patients who already got their feet amputated. I remember this one time I saw this elderly lady who could not come out of the car. I had to go in the car to see her. So I had to step out of my office to go see her. And her feet, Lloyd, I am giving you no exaggeration now. Her feet was as black as a mummified foot. And they were asking me if I can help to save her foot. And of course, the answer is I am not Jesus. So I really couldn't help her. But it broke my heart to see. It's the first time I saw somebody's foot looking like that, this was many, many years ago. And at that point, I said, diabetics are addicted to sugar. They're addicted to sugar and sugary drinks. And I wanted to create products that they will still love. And they will still feel like, I'm still able to partake in festivity, if you know what I mean. I can still enjoy a good juice. And this juice, we wanted to make it so nutritious without the sugar. It has the least amount of sugar, as I mentioned before, and very soon it will have no sugar using plant-based sweeteners like stevia. We already use stevia today, but we're doing a blend with other natural plant-based sweeteners. And the best part is, Lloyd, it tastes as good as when you had it when you came here the first time.
I know I ordered a whole cake.
So I did promise to send you this new flavor, the sauce up, and I'm going to absolutely send you a case, hopefully next week, so you can give me your feedback on this new flavor. You know, soursop is like one of the most powerful anti-cancer, um, I want to say, fruits on anywhere on the globe. Maybe the most anti-cancer fruit, actually, thinking about it. I can't think of anyone that has more research for its anti-cancer properties. And turmeric is the world's most powerful root for cancer. So we are the first drink to put these two massive anti-cancer powerhouse in a beverage and still have 100% vitamin D. So you get your whatever you get your main vitamin, which is really a hormone, which is vitamin D. You get astaxanthin, which is nature's most powerful antioxidant.
The first
Six
time I
thousand times.
the first time I heard of astaxanthin came from you. I said,
Yes,
but you explained everything.
yes. And astaxanthin, by the way, it's what makes pink salmon pink. It makes them swim over 2,000 miles, by the way, gives them the energy to do so. It is what makes shrimp pink. And even our national bird, the scarlet ibis, is pink because it eats the crustaceans, which eat this algae. And this algae, really. So astaxanthin comes from an algae. So this is very, very powerful stuff. And astaxanthin is also nature's most powerful beta carotene. And up until today, we are still the only juice drink that has astaxanthin in it. So it's like you're taking a supplement of astaxanthin in every bottle. You're taking a supplement of red Korean ginseng in every bottle. You're taking a vitamin D supplement. You're also taking supplements of our unique blend of spices because those spices also benefit you if you have diabetes, benefits you if you have cancer, it benefits you in so many different ways. And as I mentioned before, we have hundreds of testimonies. When COVID-19 came out, Lloyd, it was somewhat of a scary thing for most people in the beginning. Because if your train of thought was that, oh my God, they finally made something in our lab that's going to kill humanity, right? If you were on that side of train of thought, if you were on the train of thought, well, oh shit, this is God's wrath on humans, right? So the world is overpopulated, so God sent a virus to quell the masses. Either way I looked at it, I think most people were concerned, at least concerned, of what this virus would do. And I'll share with your viewers today something very important, that discovery that I didn't make the discovery, but I inevitably was guided to put curcumin in UJuice. Now, curcumin is what makes turmeric yellow. It's the active ingredient in turmeric root.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with curcumin, like turmeric, is usually, traditionally in India, the herbalists there would use it with black pepper. And black pepper allows it to be absorbed into your intestine. But see, science, there's a machine that makes the curcumin into using pressure, it makes it into very small particle sizes so that it can pass through on your intestine. You have something here called villi, like this. And so when you eat, the food goes into your villi and goes into your bloodstream, and that's how you get nutrition. But if it's too big, it can't pass. So nano curcumin, nano means very small, of course. We make the particles so small that it is even 115% more bioavailable than anything else. And so when we started using nano curcumin, we noticed that clients who had COVID would use the turmeric ginger and it would benefit them tremendously, Lloyd. Like, I didn't think that a juice drink could have that effect. I know it's, of course, ginger is great and turmeric is great, but I didn't think it would have so much of a profound effect. But it did, and the reason it did is what I want to share with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is very interesting. You see, curcumin, according to a study done in Brazil, in a university in Brazil, they found that curcumin, listen to this now, we heard about ivermectin, we heard about all different things and that help with COVID, but there is nothing else on the face of the earth that helps COVID as much as in a singular way, as much as curcumin. So here's what the study showed. This is your virus. The virus has spikes on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what curcumin does, it blocks the spike protein so it can't get into the cells. It blocks it. It also blocks the enzyme because enzyme helps to break things down in your body. So when we eat, you produce enzymes like lipase or amylase. So then the enzymes break down the fats or the starch or the carbs so that your body could receive it. Similarly, there is an enzyme called an ACE2 enzyme that actually allows the virus to enter inside of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that curcumin blocks the viral entry. Curcumin blocks the enzyme that allows the virus to enter the body as well. And the study also showed that even the nanoparticles themselves had an effect against COVID 19. And I will share something with you guys today. I have a practice in Trinidad, Lloyd, as you know, and we see hundreds of people every month. We will never close for COVID. All of my staff and myself are not vaccinated, and nobody got sick with COVID 19. Anyone who got the beginning of a cold or flu symptom that took my special herbal blend called Super Immune, which we have all ingredients in UJuice just in a smaller amount, no one, Lloyd, got sick with COVID 19 or even tested positive for COVID 19. Because remember, to test positive for COVID 19, the virus has to replicate at least 3,000 times. So by taking nanocurcumin, we were able to confirm with the study in Brazil that in fact, somehow this curcumin does work because remember, a study is done in theory. I mean, it's in a lab, right? So it's not, it was not a human trial. And because it was not a human trial, we were, in many ways, we were the human trial, you know? So anyway, so yes, Lloyd. So that is what curcumin does. And of course, so all of your listeners, you guys should Google this stuff for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Please Google it.
No,
And you will see nano.
you
Huh?
really do a lot of research. No, I'm saying that you do a very thorough researcher. That's one thing I know.
You now I can barely hear you again, Lloyd.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what. Can you hear me now, though?
A little better, yes.
Okay, I was saying you are known for your research, your thorough research when you do something.
Yes, correct. And I don't just research, I constantly research because I see patients all the time with varying things, and I feel like I need to always be on top of my game and on top of the latest research because they are researching herbs now everywhere in the world as we speak, even.
That's interesting. I want to show them the juice that I was introduced to when I first came to Trinidad. This is one of the first juices that you had. You do sorrel, right?
Yes, yes. The sorrel was the first was the ginger, the second was the sorrel.
how did you come up with the title UJuice?
UJuice is a combination of my name, which of course is Uchenna, and my wife's name is Jennifer. And we really came together to make this product. She on the side of making it taste amazing, and me on the side of making it as healthy as it could be. And so that U and that J signifies our perfect partnership and perfect teamwork to make the dream work.
Yeah. Well, I know this. It works extremely well, and the juices taste nice. In fact, when I came from Trinidad after my first trip, I brought some with me, and then when I came the second time and came back, I tried to bring even more juice back with me, the ginger, the sorrel, and since then you developed other flavors. Is that correct from this one?
If what? The last thing you said?
You developed other flavors.
Yes, of course. We have the turmeric passion and the soursop, turmeric soursop. I don't think I'm going to do more flavors than that. Um, Somebody, yeah, Lloyd, a lot of people even here saying that they're not hearing you as well. I'm just looking at on YouTube. I'm looking at some comments here. Speak Your Truth says that your volume is too low. And
Oh, I
some
share.
Oracle T says, Lloyd, check your volume. Yours is too low. So I'm
I
not sure, Lloyd, what's really going on with
I
your volume. But
but I know this. This is the soursop. Is this correct? This is the newest one.
this is the soursop, yes, turmeric soursop.
Now, what does soursop do?
Soursop is very powerful in terms of its antioxidant capabilities. And just so our viewers know, our listeners and viewers, we always hear about antioxidants, right? So antioxidants is very confusing because first and foremost, we need oxygen. So, so when you hear antioxidant, you think, well, I need oxygen, right? So, but there's something called reactive oxygen species. So just imagine, even oxygen have species of oxygen, right? As it reacts in your body. And so these reactive oxygen species, they wreak havoc on your cells. And so that is why we need an antioxidant to combat these reactive oxygen species that damage your tissue. It damages, for example, when you get COVID, if you get COVID-19 or any other disease, but let's just stick with COVID for now. You know that it could permanently damage your lung tissue as well as your heart tissue. So what antioxidant does, it protects against those reactive oxygen species that damages your skin. I'm saying skin because we don't realize that you are made from skin inside and out. And your lung, of course, is made from skin and your heart. And just as if you get a cut on your hand, you have a scar, and that scar is there forever, by the way. So antioxidants protects against scarring. And if you think about it, your heart is kind of like important. and, and your lungs is also kind of important. So, because if you can't breathe, of course, none of us would be here speaking right now. So soursop, just like everything else in your juice, is extremely high in antioxidants. And if for that reason alone, it is extremely healthy. Of course, it's also anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and soursop helps you to sleep, Lloyd, believe it or not. So it helps to relax your body. So it's funny because if you have the soursop drink in the day, it does not make you sleepy. But when you go to bed at night, you sleep better. And that is why nature is so powerful. Because if you were to if a drug makes you sleepy, it makes you sleepy. It doesn't say, well, let me give you energy when when you need it and then make you sleepy or sleep better when you sleep. Only nature does that. And soursop leaf in the Caribbean is known for that ability to help young children sleep. Soursop and lime bud as well helps you to sleep. And the unique combination of soursop with the spices and everything else makes for a very powerful formula to help people to sleep better at night but give them energy in the day. And you have to use it to concur. And of course, very soon I'll be very happy to have you guys be able to order UJuice online on Amazon. You know,
Well, I know that it's selling extremely well there in Trinidad. Is that correct?
it is. It's the fastest growing drink in Trinidad at the moment. We are selling as fast as drinks that was here long before us, like Red Bull, for example, and other functional drinks in the major supermarkets, right? So we are a young company. Of course, we are quickly getting to where we need to get to. We're gonna invest in a major factory soon, Lloyd, and from that factory, we will be in a position to export to the US to ensure that we have the quality control over everything. Right now, we do it by hand, but we can't do it by hand anymore because we can't keep up with demand. So I'm really looking. We have a lot of people in the US who have been asking for UJuice since 2019, and I've been promising them since 2019 that soon we'll be able to export. And then COVID-19 hit, so that did put a bit of a dent in how fast we move on with things. But we should be able to get everything together by, I would say, October of this year, please God, and to be able to ship this amazing product everywhere in the world.
Well, I know that when I brought samples of the UJuice back and gave it to some of my clients, they all wanted to know where could they get it. And here's the thing: almost everything you get is designed with sugar in it. Yet diabetes runs rampant in our black communities, especially. It runs rampant throughout the United States. Period. What is it about the sugar that causes it? And what is the secret that you were able to produce this juice, you and Jen, where it tastes excellent and yet no sugar? What's the magic?
Well, again, we have a little bit of sugar in it. We have the same amount of sugar that you get in coconut water, for example. Like people think that if you have, let's just say, a 100% juice, I'm going to answer a question, but this is something I want our viewers to understand, right? If they say, okay, if you have diabetes, you can still have a sweet fruit. That's not true. A sweet fruit will still spike your sugar. It's still fructose. So as far as your pancreas is concerned, it doesn't matter where the sugar comes from. If it's sugar, if it's fructose, lactose, galactose, glucose, any sugar will spike your sugar, whether it is natural or processed, right? Okay. So if you're diabetic and you have it, coconut water even, it will spike your sugar. So what we did is we say, okay, we need some sugar because without glucose, you can't, no human can function, by the way. We suffer from too much sugar, but without sugar, your brain uses the most sugar in your body.
Really?
Your brain can't function without sugar. Well, glucose specifically, that's the form of sugar we use in our bodies, right? So we put just enough sugar, right? Cane sugar, just enough, 10 grams of sugar per serving. But we use stevia, which is a natural plant-based sweetener, and we use organic stevia, and we steep the stevia. So most people don't like stevia because the taste, there's an aftertaste. But my wife figured out how to process stevia in this very special way, so there is no taste of no stevia aftertaste, which is very cool.
Hmm.
So that's why when you taste UJuice, you feel great. The other herbs in there help to balance your blood sugar, like vitamin D helps to balance your blood sugar. Red Korean ginseng helps to balance your blood sugar or glucose levels. Nano curcumin helps to balance your glucose levels, and we have cinnamon in there. We have aniseed star. We have so many bay leaves in there. We have so many herbs that synergistically together helps to manage your sugar. And what I found that to be very interesting is that diabetics were telling me that not only did UJuice not spike their sugar, but it actually helped them to control their sugar, which I found I didn't think it would do that. But we do this now for 3 years now on the market, and the feedback has really been mind blowing, Lloyd. It has been mind blowing to hear the types of testimonies. I could make this stuff up. People drink the drink, the pain go away. I had someone call me on on national radio, because I'm on 4 national radio stations. We have a health show I do, as you know. And this guy said, I don't know this guy, he just called in, right? He said, I drank your product and my eyesight got better. And we know the reason for that is astaxanthin, because that is nature's most powerful beta carotene. And beta carotene is very, very powerful for the health of your eyes. And we know, most of you should know, that you don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. So we have some optic nerves and some, that actually takes the signal to your brain. So part of us not seeing is lack of circulation. And curcumin boosts your circulation. So something about the formula with astaxanthin and curcumin and ginger, which also boosts circulation, by the way, somehow is helping people with their eyesight. And one more point I want to make for the children now and for parents who have children, and not just for them, but for us, Lloyd. You see, our eyes were not meant to look at a screen or a computer screen like this all day. Our eyes meant to see things from very far away, right?
Yes.
And so we have some muscles in the eye that adjust the focus if something is too far or near. So myopia is called nearsightedness, and it is completely an epidemic now. And I want to see you guys in the comments, right? Let's just do a poll, Lloyd. How many of you know children without glasses versus children with glasses today? And go back 20 years when you were in school and tell me how many children had glasses and how many children did not have glasses. You have grandchildren, Lloyd. Do your grandchildren wear glasses?
They're in the South. A couple of them do.
I can barely hear you still.
A couple of them do. I have no idea what's going on with this thing. I know this. I'm going to have you back where we can do this more, but continue though. So it helps with the eyes for children.
Yes, because astaxanthin protects the eyes. Now, it's not a cure per se, because part of the reason why the eyesight isn't good is because they're looking at screens all day long that is just, about a foot away from the eyes or 6 inches away from the eyes. And if you do that all day long, it's going to your eyes, especially children who are developing, their eyes are not going to develop, and they're not outside playing in the park all day long like we used to, Lloyd. These children are absolutely glued to either a computer screen or a phone. We had television in our days, but we were not watching TV all day. So we have to get back to the understanding that we need to, apart from protecting the eyes with beta carotene, and again, astaxanthin happens to be nature's most powerful beta carotene.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is asking here about curcumin. So it's Curcumin is how you spell curcumin. Curcumin, sorry. Curcumin, right? That's how you spell curcumin. Dougal says fresh soursop is delicious. I'm reading some of the comments on your YouTube page, Lloyd. Greetings, of course, to everyone that's logged on and listening to us now. I'm not sure why Lloyd's mic is giving trouble, but for those, I guess most of your viewers should know that Mercury is in retrograde and Mercury affects communication. So
yeah. I'm doing the best I can, okay,
Oh my God! And now your voice sounds like you're underwater now. It's very strange.
Wow. Okay. It's always worked until now. Well, you know what? It's okay because what it will only do is make sure I have you back so I can ask even more questions and everything of that nature. But so with can you hear me still?
I can't hear you at all now. Now you sound like your voice is has turned into a robot's voice in a way. This is
Well,
unbelievable stuff.
okay, here's what I'm gonna lean close, but I'm gonna do this. Um, the one thing of me being in Trinidad with you is that I learned from you and you learned from me. So you are now also in Trinidad an astro numerologist. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yes. Well, I should tell you, Lloyd, that you completely changed my life with learning astrology and numerology and inspired me to become an astronumerologist. And, as a naturopathic doctor, I see people every day, and having one more science to be able to gauge their health and to advise them on their health changed their lives as well. Because you see, there are some people, for example, if you're born on the 6th of any month or the 9th of any month, or you happen to be a Scorpio, people like that, it's harder for them to switch their diets. So there are some people I know off the bat that I have to help them a little more to understand themselves better. And I even understood the reason why nines and sixes find it hard to change their diets and why they like more foods on the rich side, like meats. It's almost impossible for them to stop eating meat, almost. And they also like rich foods like dairy and cake and stuff like that. I'm speaking generally now, right? And what I found is that nines, for example, because they are empaths, they feel all emotions of everyone. And you see, we eat for emotional reasons. And so anyone who feels more than anybody else, because I would say you may agree or disagree, but nines or Scorpios, they tend to feel they are the most emotional of all the zodiac signs and of all the numbers. They feel the most. And so it's hard for them to stick to something because life is not a straight line. Life goes, as you know, every, every month is not the same. And I don't think that people realize how significant nine is. And nines have that number resonates with the highest frequency of all numbers. And so those people are people of extremes. They don't have any in between with them. And so when you're stressed out, they will always go for whatever makes them happy. And guess what makes you happy? Sugar makes you happy. And salt helps to redirect anger and frustration. And so if you're struggling with those emotions, then it's going to be a little harder for you to follow a plant-based diet or even one that has some fish involved. So, so your craft has allowed me to read people like a book. Every client, I could tell you, maybe since I met you, I probably saw maybe about 1,500 people. And I work as a scientist, so I have recorded their birthdays and what diseases they had. I also noticed trends in terms of what diseases they are more likely to suffer from, which is part of your book as well. So I concurred some of that with you. I also noticed that people of different birthdays, they tend to come back to see me because I have clients coming to see me since 2011. And they would come back to see me in the same month that I saw them the first time. 4 years later, or 5 years later, or 8 years later. So people have cycles. And so you taught me everything in the universe has cycles. And once you understand that, and you understand that every 9 years, you have a cycle. So people think, well, they're young, maybe 20 years old. So, well, I have a long life to live. But the truth is, every 9 years, if you're lucky enough to have the right numbers, you may have 2 or 3 years of those 9 years. That's going to be your best chance at of becoming very successful. Whereas Lloyd would say you have the most wind under your sail in that 9 year cycle. But you see, if you miss, and of the 2 or 3 years you may have, one of those is going to be the one with the most wind under your sail. So, because of what I learned from Lloyd, I knew that my cycle, that time when I have the biggest chance to succeed, is actually this year, Lloyd. And so Lloyd predicted for me that this year, as it has been for the last 3 cycles back, because I'm an entrepreneur now for 23 years, and because I'm an entrepreneur, I was able to record all of my successes. I was able to look at my accounts and see the months I made the most money in, the months I made the least money, the months I lost money, the months I got robbed. I was able to look at my whole life in a whole different way. So now, when I'm planning things, I know, I don't guess now. I know that every 9 years, I have 1 or 2 or 3 very good years. Of those years, one of them is going to be that biggest chance. And so this time, I was 100% prepared. And what I love about Lloyd and his work is he has prepared so many people, for those of you who listen, to be to have the biggest chance at success in your life. And if you have learned astrology and numerology and did not use it to understand that those cycles are the most important thing for you to look at and to follow and to record, then you have missed the whole purpose of astrology and numerology. It is not about learning about somebody else's business, right? So Lloyd, when he reads people, he would say, I'm sorry to get into your business, right? So some people, I don't know, maybe they're in the business because you can use this science to do all kinds of other things, I guess. But the righteous way to use, I think, Lloyd, your new book is about the ethics, I think, of astrology and numerology, yes?
Yes, I am going to be bringing on a third course on Udemy uh, very, very soon. And it's about the ethics, the do's and the don'ts, so people know the proper use of not to, like in anything, misuse it. Okay, because these ancient sciences have a karmic effect. So it's about doing your best of the things you should be doing and to avoid all things that are very negative and they could be boomerang back on you. So that's coming up very soon.
Yes. And it's very important that people understand that science is meant to make humanity better, but to make starting with you. Because if you're reading everybody else and you are not perfecting what the science says you need to perfect, then you are doing yourself a disservice. In other words, don't get read happy. You know what I mean? Like even as a doctor, it's easy for people who are in a field, in any field now, to be so involved in others people's problems that you forget that you are human too. And you too have problems that you need to solve. And in making you a better person, you of course are going to be much more useful to the community at large. And yeah, so this cycle, every 9 years, you have a whole new cycle. And that ninth year, in whichever cycle that you have, you will see that it starts over back to one. So then, how many years do you have? Is it 50 years of productive life? Is it 40 years of productive life? I mean, between your 20s and maybe your 80s, if you're very healthy. I don't know. I know for sure one of my clients is 97 years old. He looks like 70. I have a 87-year-old client who had prostate cancer. and erectile dysfunction, Lloyd. And we helped him, his PSA is down, and his wife was very happy because guess what? They're having sex again. And sex is so important to do as you get older. So looking after yourself is so important. And understanding that time is not infinite. At least your time on earth anyway, I should say.
We all have an expiration date.
Exactly. And so we have to, I think what I learned the most from you, Lloyd, is to value time and to value the time we have with the reverence and the realization that every day has a whole different gift to give. And it's so easy for us to take time for granted. And I always say a young person values money more than time. But I think when you pass 40, at least, you start to see things a little different and you start to value time more than money. And if there was a way for you to value money, or I should say time instead of money, then I think in your younger years anyway, I think that your older self will be very, very thankful for that level of consciousness. And astrology and numerology helps you to value time more than money.
I would have to agree with you on that. Uh, am I still sounding like I'm underwater?
No, but you're still something soft though.
What can I do? I tell you this. Did I? Um, what did I want to say about? Um, but anyway, in addition to, are you coming up with any other brands of flavors? You have four flavors now. Is there anything?
We have two other brands of beverages, but I won't mention. It's still, it's still in the secret mode. But yes, we have two other drinks coming out that's going to be amazing. One is a water that's going to have all your trace minerals in it, including fulvic and humic acid, which humic acid and fulvic acid is in the soil. And without fulvic and humic acid, especially humic, the roots in the from the plant can't get the minerals from the soil. So anyone who is a farmer knows that if the soil doesn't have enough fulvic and humic acid, they have problems. So, and it's the same for us. We need fulvic and humic acid to absorb things better. And this water is going to be out of this world. And we also have a probiotic drink that's going to be the best that you can also get, and it's going to have a lot of super nutrient ingredients in that as well. So
Well,
we're looking forward to bring those out very soon in 2023.
I do know that it was a couple of years ago you were talking about the design of the water and even the bottle or container for this water, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that one more time.
Okay, I'm going to try to get as close to this thing as possible. Can you hear me a little better?
Yeah, do you have an external mic maybe, or maybe a headset with a mic?
No, no, it's a non-mic. It's
Okay.
I talk straight to the computer. It's never had a problem. But you know what's interesting? Uh, I'm going to get a person to help me put a better mic so I sound better, sound clearer. So obviously, with this Mercury retrograde, this tells me that's what I need to do
Are you talking to me on your phone or on your computer?
on my computer.
Right. It would be probably better to do the call on your phone. On your phone, you won't have that problem.
Um, how do I do that?
So I don't know if you want to try just to maybe first to cut this and come and do another live and try on your phone so at least the listeners can hear more of Lloyd
Well, here's what we
today.
need to do. Since it is close to the hour, what I'm going to do is cut the show, and then I'm going to have you back on. All right? Oh, Uchenna, Uchenna, Uchenna. All right, everyone. I have no idea what's happening. You would think with Mercury going retrograde, that about to end retrograde, that this would be different. His screen has frozen. Alrighty, but let me say this for what it's worth, to bring some things up. I meant to tell you about, this is the forecast for today. Um, as you see, this is, the sun is in Gemini. Today is a new moon, by the way. Today is a day to really, uh, do something, launch something different. Mercury's still in retrograde. It's 11 universal month, 6 universal week, and a 5 universal day. The signs that are doing well are Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, and those that are born on the 3rd, 5th, 12th, 14th, 21st, 23rd, and 30th. My guest, by the way, that you just saw, Dr. Uchenna, is a Gemini, and he's born on the 3rd day of the month. His birthday is literally 5 days from now. So I want to be one of the first to wish him, happy birthday. Also, folks, let me say this to you. Um, this will be my guest coming up on this Wednesday. This is Soul Coach. He is my special guest for this Wednesday. He is going to be telling you why he is Soul Coach. The brother is, something else, and you'll get to see what he is about on this Wednesday coming up at 7 o'clock. I think I heard Chinna chime back in. Let's see. Okay, Chinna,
Yes, I can hear you good now, actually.
you can hear me now. Actually,
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, it's near the end of the show, but it's okay.
Oh my
It's
God.
okay. So while, hey, stay put. So while people can hear me, let me just redo this again. Uh, I need to let people know. Jenna, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I see you have your branding in the middle of the both of us, I think. I see
Let
that
me
there.
see. Yes. Uh, this is the gentleman that I'm going to have on this particular, uh, Wednesday. He's going to be on this
Okay.
Wednesday. That is my guest. He is the soul coach, a very motivational speaker, very, very interesting brother. Uh, my course is still on sale. It's, back on sale, and I think the sale ends tomorrow. So to take advantage of the sale, I suggest all of you go to my website. As you see, I'm almost approaching the 1,000 mark in terms of the reviews, close to 1,000 mark. Uh, and let me say this too. Jenna, can you hear me?
Perfectly, yeah.
All right, because it was because of Chenna that I came to this segment here, to put an online course on the air. And so when I was talking the last week, I was saying how you changed my life in more ways than you can ever imagine. And for that, I will always be thankful for you. But this is one of them. And now, Chenna, I'm glad to say this course has now over 3,500 students out of 73 countries translated into 27 languages. So, yes, coming up in about another week or two, there will be a third one. Learn to Lloyd the do's and don'ts of numerology. That's going to be very, very interesting. And Chinna, as you see, the Learn from Lloyd How to Read a Person Like a Book, on day one in February of 2020, it was listed as a bestseller. Now going past 2 years of February 2022, every day or every time it's listed, it's always listed as a bestseller, which shows you the, uh, accuracy and the scientific process of this. So please get it while it's on sale. I think the sale ends tomorrow. It is also, by the way, folks, see a free monthly newsletter. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Okay. Um, okay, hold up. Jenna, that's one thing about live TV, boy. Live streaming. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Very good, very good. That means I can tell other people about it. And you can also get this certificate. Um, can you still hear me now that I blanked the screen?
Yep.
Okay, very good, very good. At least I got feedback. Alrighty. So this is the online course that you get. The sale ends tomorrow. Do not wait until tomorrow or wait till the last minute, but you will find that you can get a lot done and learn from this course how to do this. Uh, a lot of people think I'm great. No, I've just learned the art of how to interpret the numbers like people know how to interpret the astrological indications and the aspects of the planet. It's just the art of interpretation, but it takes a lot of years to do. This is the certification that everybody receives when they finish the course. And although May is pretty much a wrap, this particular June will be out in a couple of days. All right. So please sign up. Go to my website, roy-strayhorn.com for the moon letter, or go to Kaya French, Kyafrench. This is something we've been tag teaming for over a year. So you can either get it from her website and sign up, or you can get it from mine, lloyd-strayhorn.com. Again, working backwards, this is certification when you take it. This is the course that's on sale. This you see, this is less than lunch for two. And we ain't even counting dinner. But you can learn how to do what I do. This will be my guest this coming Wednesday, Soul Coach. And yes, I do have let me say this again, I have a third course coming up soon with a very interesting person who helped me put this together. And I'll give you more details, but the title is going to be Learn from Lloyd, the do's and don'ts of numerology. And I got to thank you very, very much for making it happen. So, with that said, as you see, you saw the forecast for the day. It's a new moon day. And by the way, these are Chenna's products. Okay. This is his sour stock, the UJuice. This is his sorrel. But I gotta tell you, when I was in Trinidad, I lived off these juices, especially when it was in the experimental stages when he and his beautiful wife Jim were putting it all together. And I came back the following year in 2019. I mean, that's all I drank. That's all I stayed with. Anytime I wanted to take something with me, I would go downstairs and take their juice. So anyway, um, let me see. Chenna, I think that's it. Let me do this. Oh, and by the way, Chenna, I got to give them uh, I got to give you the banner so people can see how to get in touch with you. There are several ways to do that. Okay, and there you see it right there, Chenna. Okay. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
I mean, I think I said a lot tonight. I give you guys a lot. I think that what I want to what I want to say to all viewers tonight, and everyone who would see this video in the future, is to take yourself seriously. I think people think that somehow they're not human and they're somehow invincible. I see that a lot in all the patients I see. And yes, we have to do all the things we have to do to be healthy as we can, to treasure your health, especially in these perilous times. And yeah, to support small growing businesses and businesses that have your health in their heart. Because many companies just want to make a buck, Lloyd. Everyone is they're just, how do we make a buck quick? And it's very sad. And for the companies who are like me, who have the people, health, and well-being in their heart, those are the things you have to vote with your dollars. We have to select companies that like us, that love us, that respect our families, that want to remove diabetes from our community. And that's my passion, and that's why we do what we do. And I want to thank you, of course, Lloyd, for having me on your show. And for everyone who is watching, I really appreciate you guys being here with us. And yes, Lloyd, I mean, I can't say enough that you have completely changed my life. I don't hire anybody unless I know their birthdays. I don't do anything much actually without checking the dates anymore.
Well, I
And
know
before,
this. You have done a lot for me. I mean, because when I was in Trinidad, you said something to me. Why should you be so well known? I ain't gonna tell everybody the rest, but it was what you said in your car picking up your kids when we were traveling that really changed my whole perspective and gave me another whole way of looking at what I do. It has led to this. So I thank you very, very much, Jenna.
I thank you, my friend,
Telling you
and
that.
continue. I wish you many more happy, healthy years doing what you're doing. And I know you take very good care of yourself. And I want to tell you and all of your viewers today that your work is so important to our community, to all communities, and to continue writing, sharing, doing more courses. And we're about to release an app very soon, as you know.
Yep.
Star 8 is the name of the app. I'm not sure if you informed your viewers
No,
as yet.
not yet, not yet. But that's one of the other surprises that's coming up too. One of the other
So
surprises.
I'm sorry to let the cat out of the bag, but
No, no,
I
you didn't. You just gave it a tease. That's it. They have no idea what it is.
So we have a lot more great things to happen, and I'm very happy to be part of your team, helping to get everything Lloyd Street on that the whole entire world will know who you are, not just for now, but for 100 years from now. So
Well, I hope the feeling is mutual with you do too. You got a fine family to leave a legacy of success with. You got wonderful
yes,
children, two boys, two
thank you.
girls, beautiful wife, a mom and dad. So it's, I mean, you're blessed in many, 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 many ways. And again, it's like
Yes,
the first thing that I was like blown with is so to come to visit you the first time and sit at a table with you and your entire family eating. Brother, I can't remember the last time I seen everybody eat at the same table. Okay,
yes,
grab your plate, and you go about your business, you go to your room or whatever the case is. And so then we want to know why we're so disjointed. But I think it would be good for family members to come back to the table and eat and share and exchange and things like that and go and learn. So, Jenna, I thank you very, very much. Happy birthday next week on the 3rd of June. Okay.
yes, thank you.
It'll be real, real nice. And again, thank you for changing my life too. You and King Simon and a couple other people that I can name. All of you have done so much to put me in a better place, in a better space, and I'm forever thankful. God bless you, Jenna. You take care.
Yes,
I'm
I
going to
said to,
put
of
you back
course,
on when Mercury's not retrograde. And
yeah,
you can entire show without.
for sure.
Okay.
I
So,
know.
okay. Thank you, man. Take good care.
Yeah, bye.
Buddy. Um, well, as you see, folks, it's always better late than never. With that, I have no idea what the sound. This has never ever happened before. But for all of you, I want to thank you very, very much for joining us, especially my special guest. I call him Chinna. He is Dr. Uchenna Levitt, but I affectionately call him Chinna. He's an amazing man with an amazing wife, amazing kids. Just listen. That's it. I'm very blessed to know him. And so, anyway, I want to thank everybody very much. Wednesday, we'll have our special guest, the Soul Coach. This guy is phenomenal. If you were to look at his name that was analyzed by Jackie Levine when she visited Clubhouse last week or week before, you'll understand why this guy is going to be something else to see. So, everybody, I want to wish you all a very blessed day. Y'all take care of yourselves. See you in a couple of days, Wednesday.